Well, as Alan said, wow. Thank you, Page Center. Thank you, Merrill, for those really generous remarks. I sort of remember that time at that meeting and the person who said that. But we all have so many wonderful shared experiences. It's really nice to hear all these nice things that you feel about me when one of my children is here. So I'm very happy my daughter Cindy's here. I am obviously thrilled, honored, and very excited to receive an award named after Larry Foster. He is one of my all-time favorite friends, and I remember so well, I was at Dayton Hudson when he was at Johnson & Johnson. Our companies were about the same size, and he sort of took me under his wing a lot of times, so I am so thrilled Ellen is here tonight. You haven't changed a bit. And all the family. That makes it very special for all of us. And I'm equally proud to be sharing the platform with Alan and with Dick Martin, as I've always been a big fan of both of theirs. You have all made this a very special evening, and I thank you, thank you, thank you. So is now the time to announce I'm running for office? I'm only kidding. There's an old Missouri saying that you need 5 good hugs a day to be healthy. And after this evening, I think I'm good for the rest of the year. The Page Center folks said I should take a couple of minutes to offer some thoughts on the value of integrity and ethics in society today. That's a really big subject, and I only have 3 or 4 minutes, so I'm just going to give you my thoughts in some bite-sized pieces. I've had the incredible good fortune to have been a public relations leader in the public sector, in a Fortune 50 corporation, and in an international public relations agency. Before all that, as Merrill mentioned, I spent 10 years teaching high school English and journalism, hosting parent-teacher conferences, convincing students they really did like English, and helping them understand what was happening in their world when John Kennedy was shot. What I've learned is that public relations is public relations, no matter where you practice it. In each arena, we are responsible for managing the reputation of our organization as an asset for the organization and for its key stakeholders. And it requires each of us to build trusting relationships with all stakeholders. It requires us to understand, as Bill said earlier, that communication with the public is a privilege. It starts with liking the people you work with, reporters, editors, analysts, the general counsel, the HR director, all those folks, and respecting what they have to offer. I know it sounds really simplistic, but I believe if you look for the best in people, you almost always will get it back. And you will build the kind of trust that results in them keeping you in the loop as well. We have to trust each other's behavior in relationships. We have to listen a lot. We have to be open to new ideas. And we have to share with others and become trusted, reliable professionals. As I said earlier, I do believe there is a mission and a purpose and a calling to what we do in public relations. To serve people, build bridges of understanding, focus our entire organizations on values and standards, and be the providers, the monitors, those folks that come around as a gentle reminder that there are standards that we always have to live up to. Today, everyone is so skeptical of everything. People are reluctant to trust because they don't know who to believe or what to believe. High school journalism teachers today are now teaching students how to recognize fake news. It's part of their course of study. The California legislature is now considering making it a requirement in all junior high schools and high schools to know what's real and what's fake. I worked for a really excellent CEO who expected me to always look straight at the facts and then recommend a course. He would say, "So what do you recommend, Barkelew?" when we'd be faced with something challenging. As Brett Stevens, the Wall Street Journal commentary writer, told students at UCLA last week, we each have our obligations to see what's in front of one's nose. This is the essence of intellectual integrity. Not to look around or beyond or away from the facts, but to recognize and call the facts for what they are, nothing more, nothing less. I loved having that PRSA Code of Ethics on display in my office. It meant I had standards for how I behaved. I memorized the Page Society principles when I became a member of the Page Society, and I could quote them with the least provocation. Tell the truth, prove it with action, listen to the customer, manage for tomorrow, conduct public relations as if the whole business depended on it, because it does. True character is expressed by our people, and please remain calm, patient, and good-humored. That was sometimes the most challenging. And the nameplate that they showed up in the video of at Flushman Hillard, you saw my name, but I looked at that philosophy every day, and it meant a lot. At Dayton Hudson, we spelled it out in our stores. Customer first, great values, a liberal return policy, a record of a community involvement, our commitment to families and the environment. Those are the guideposts that make us all stand a little taller than the rest. One of my favorite moments was when Edward Bernays came to Minnesota to speak to a PRSA chapter meeting, and he came and visited my team at Dayton Hudson. We met the general counsel in the hallway, and I introduced the two of them. And Edward Bernays said to Jim Hale, our general counsel, "Oh, you must work for Ann." Highlight of my life, right? But at any rate, because he said, because she's in charge of the court of public opinion. And that's what we do. We must be the people, the someones that people turn to for information they trust. We must remember always that communication is a privilege, communication with the public. I learned early in my career that when we all worked together and could see our stake in each other, we did our best work. I believe in a culture that treats people like they matter, because they do, a culture that honestly builds trusting, positive relationships and creates opportunities for everyone to stretch and grow. My wish for each of you is that you are as richly blessed as I have been to work with great people at every turn, and that each day when you go to do whatever it is you go to do, that your hearts will beat a little faster. You have made my heart beat very fast this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you.